Thank y'all, brothers and sisters, for tuning back in to the channel, Pelican Bay Dog TV, Dog News, Dog Talk, giving it to you for the day, the way I always do. Fair, unbiased, raw, and uncut. Big shout out to all the dog lovers from one side of the world, the other side of the world. We about to get into that dog news, that dog talk for the day. Keep it going like I always do. Hope everybody having a great day out there, a great evening out there, great morning out there. Just all depends on where you're staying at in this world. Like I said, big shouts out to all the PBK Niners from across the world. And even if you ain't a PBK Niner, you just rocking with me. Big shout out to you, you know what I'm saying? We're going to get into this dog talk there. I got some news for y'all brothers and sisters like I always do. Got some dog talk. The first thing, first thing I want to start off with, I want to talk about the reason I do my dog talk the way I do my dog talk. I'm in the studio, I can't help, I'm going to say it like this. Everybody got their own style of what they trying to do. Everybody got their own goals of what they trying to do. My platform is studio based. I'm working, like I said, I'm working on having multiple studios, 2, 3 studios. I'm trying to do where I can record another person's podcast if I need to be, if they on this side of town or in this area. I'm doing my podcast to where when folk come buy dogs from me, we can do shows. I'm setting up all that studio, 1, 2, and 3, and maybe 4. So I got different goals than everybody. I'm not trying to be, like I said, I don't have to have one dog at all. I dealt with these dogs all my life. I'm certified. I could talk about this thing. I don't have to have a dog for the rest of my life and still feel comfortable talking about it, and nobody can say, or try to knock me. You know what I'm saying? That they can do it, but it don't bother me. It just, everybody got to do things how they do it and how they feel comfortable doing it. I got goals, like I said. And end of the day, when I first start doing this YouTube stuff, yeah, you want to get up there and show certain things, but people don't pay attention to everything. And at the end of the day, I didn't get into this YouTube thing to get on YouTube. I got into it to show my dog training, but then I learned something else once I got here, and then I seen something that I said I can do something with this. I can do something with it because simple fact of the matter is there's no limit to your success. You got brothers who making millions, and then you got brothers who making pennies. There's no limit to your success. It's all about what you do. And I like to be in a field where it's all about what I do. My energy, my work, my pain, my struggle is gonna show what what I'm bringing to the table. And at the end of the day, man, I can't, like, when I look at everybody's videos, when I crack on any brother or talk trash to any brother, I'm not bragging about any kind of studio I got, any kind of mics I got, anything I got. We talking about the dogs. You know what I'm saying? We talking about the dogs, and at the end of the day, like I said, every brother got to stand for themselves. Every brother got to do what they feel like is right for their program. And with me, I seen another light. I seen another path to go on. I'm giving you this dog news. I'm giving you this dog talk, because I love the breed and I love to see my brothers happy with the dogs. And I know what doing certain things can lead to with these dogs, So if you want to be happy with them, that's why, I give you what I give you. And like I always say, I don't got to have one single dog to give the dog news. There's always going to be dog news 24/7. You know what I'm saying? Always going to be dog news. And that's just some of the things I started out with when I started out doing this dog talk. A lot of people felt like, oh, I don't got dogs because I wasn't showing my dogs. And right now to this day, you still don't know what kind of dogs I got. Whether I got 1 yard, 2 yards, 3 yards, or what, because I don't tell and show everything. because it's not meant for some of y'all mind frames. If everybody had a logical way of thinking, if everybody was kind of in this certain area when it came to thinking, whether it was a little bit above or a little bit below, but they weren't too far away from it, then it'd be different. But it's not like that. So, I just have to move how I have to move, man. Everybody have to do the same thing, for their program. I can't help, like I said, do brothers say Stephen A. stay behind the mic? Do brothers say Skip Bayless stay behind the mic? Shannon Sharp stay behind the mic? No, because that's their job. Shannon caught footballs. We talking about dogs. I caught dogs. Shannon caught footballs. He don't got to go out there and run and catch no footballs no more. He done caught enough footballs his whole life. We can talk about footballs for the rest of his life. And that's what I'm trying to tell brothers. I'm doing my thing. I'm a studio-based platform. And like I said, we trying to expand the studio. I write books. I write movie scripts. My whole thing, I didn't start off writing books. I started off writing movie scripts because I want to write movies. I got 5 movie scripts already written already. And there's a difference between writing movie scripts and books. It's a whole different way of speaking. Where I would speak regular and write my book in a form that you can read it and you can feel it and you can be there. This movie script is written in a different way. It's written kind of like in action form. If that makes sense to anybody, But everybody got to do them, man. How they do them, you know what I'm saying? Lord, I'm just blessed, blessed to be here. Blessed to be able to give my brothers and sisters all this dog talk and dog news and different things throughout the weeks, throughout the months. There's a million other places I could be. I enjoy giving my brothers and sisters the news. But at the end of the day, man, the more dog brothers and sisters that get up and do these channels, it just shows me brothers got, brothers see the way. You know what I'm saying? And you can't knock no brother. I always say you can't knock no brother's story, because of his channel small or his channel's big. Everybody go through their own struggles, and brothers need to start thinking about that before they say certain things. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna dumb my product down. I'm not gonna cut my product up because the next man product, or next man way of thinking ain't the way of mine. Everybody aren't meant to be the same. If that was the case, this would be a very dull world. Everybody's supposed to be different. And that's one thing about the South, where I give my props to my brothers up north with. Down south, it's how it used to be. And it's always been like that. You don't know how to be different. When you want to be the same. And the brothers who come around different, looking different, you talk about them. Doing different things, you talk about them. All y'all want to fit in with the same bullshit, And then when you go up north, you see folk dressing different, moving different, acting different, everything. And it's just regular life. But hey, man, people, you got to just stay on the course that you on, you know what I'm saying? And do it how you do it. Because I will not, and I will not strive to try to do my program like what the next person got going on. I'm doing what makes me happy, you know what I'm saying? Now, I do want to give a shout out and a big salute to my man, City Boy Kennels. It's been a long time going. We had a goal in mind. We still got goals in mind. And big salute to my man, Marcel Shepard, as well. When it comes to a machine operating the right way, a well-oiled machine, everybody just got to play their position, and I'm not talking about nobody particular. I'm just talking about in order for a machine to work properly, everybody got to play this position. In order for a football team to work properly, every single player got to play their position from the small to the big. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, it's been a long time coming for us, brothers. We still trying to do our thing. Everybody got their own dog lines they like. City Boy got his lines. I got my lines. Marcel got his lines, his own personal stuff that he liked, you know. But from Florida up to Wisconsin up there, you know, we got that Manto stuff, that Del Manto stuff. We got the Grand Champion Yellow stuff. We got the Mayday stuff. And we got a little bit of that stuff coming down off Mike Loomis ball stuff. And we got termite stuff. You know, between that, that's the stuff that we running right now. You know, and Red Boy stuff. You know, we got Red Boy stuff as well. You know, but big salute to that brother City Boy Kennels, man, because you know, like I said, man, it's just been a long time coming. You know, ups and downs for both of us. You know what I'm saying? Great dogs. You had a vision when you hollered at me. You know what I'm saying? I hope I caught that pass and ran it in for the touchdown. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is, big dog. I want to send salute to you. You know, and my folk Marcel up there, like I said, man, we is trying to move like a well-oiled machine. And you can't do this stuff out here by yourself. You know what I'm saying? I can come up here and do the show and this and that, but at the end of the day, it's always people in the background. You know, no matter who you see on any of these brothers' shows, you know, if it's a show that you like and they giving you good content, most likely it's somebody in the background, not necessarily saying helping them get that, but nobody does it by themselves without some type of help. You know, even if it's not nothing but help from the brothers and sisters down in the chat, you know, to give you their opinions on certain things sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Everybody needs help when it comes to that type of stuff. So I want to send a big salute out. City Boy Kennels, Marcel down up there, you know what I'm saying? And PBK9's in the middle. You know, we just gonna keep doing it how we doing it, man. Trying to give these brothers great puppies out here for their families, great family pets, bred the right way. The Golden Vein ain't effing with us. You know what I'm saying? The Golden Vein ain't effing with us. You know, I want to interview. Cause see, the Golden Vein, Chico always talking about them black dogs, but we want to get up here and we want to show you what we working with, and we want to see what you got to say about that. You know, what you got to say about that. See, a lot of people don't supposed to have a lot of dogs. You know, and they don't respect you with you having them. So you got to make them respect you. You know, it ain't about earning it. Make them respect you. You know, it just is what it is, man. Salute to my folk out there. Now, in this dog game, what I realized, you got your house niggas and you got your field niggas. You know, and let me explain it to you. You got your ones who want to accept change, and you got your ones who trying to change. And I don't mean change like any particular, this is not a race thing. This is a figure of speech when I say field nigga and house nigga. You know, that don't have nothing to do with black and white. You know, it's a figure of speech. It's what you got. Some brothers just want to accept change. Some brothers just want it to always be the same exact way it was in times where it can't be like that no more. You know, some brothers just, you know, we talk about brothers that be talking about don't want it to come back from the 80s and the 90s. You got some brothers that don't want it to leave the 70s. You know, don't want it to leave the 70s. And then you got brothers who, like I said, these dog platforms was not out 5-6 years ago. You know, 10 years ago, none of these dog platforms was out to where, besides Thompson, them, you know, because they've been out there 15 years, you know, but none of these platforms was out to where a lot of brothers was getting a recognition that was never known. A lot of brothers, you won't accept none of the stuff that you getting. Only thing you want to talk about is how to feed, how to do this, and how to do that. But you don't want to hear the stories because to you only want to hear one story. You know, whatever story master gave you. That's all you want to hear. And then you got brothers out here, like I said before, making their own ways, doing it nowadays, putting their name out there, getting their name in the spots they need to get them to, you know, whether it's this competition, that competition, or whatever competition they competing in. You know, you got brothers who doing it, and then you got brothers who they doing it, and they doing it while being hindered by the brothers who not trying to make nothing of themselves. You know, the same way you got people in the regular world that ain't trying to make nothing of themselves. You got people in the dog world who ain't trying to make nothing of their dogs. Nothing of themselves, you know? And it just is what it is. You got to put yourself around people who trying to do something, and it don't change. Even in the regular world, you got to involve yourself with people who trying to do it like you. You know, you can't have these goals and you're chilling with folk who got these kind of goals every day, because they're going to put you on that level. You know, if you're trying to see excellence, you got to surround yourself with excellence. At the end of the day, man, a lot of these brothers, you just house niggas. You know, you only want it one way. Only want it one way, and it ain't going to be like that. That's what brothers fighting hard for every day. And if you look at these YouTube channels, these brothers coming out every single day. It's 5 or 6 new channels coming out. They fighting hard. You know why? Because they saying, my word means something. You know, I may not be as known as this dude over here, you know, or this dude over here, but my word means something. Let me get out here and start my channel and say something, because whatever I say means something just as much as the next brother, you know. And when you got brothers feeling like that, thinking like that around the board, you're going to start getting more stories out, and you're going to start hearing about more heroes, you know what I'm saying? Instead of these 2 heroes we got to pick from, you know, now we got 15 when it comes to the dog stuff. And now, you know, everybody can fellowship amongst each other and talk about these dogs the right ways, man. It just, you got change. Change don't mean you boot the old out. Change just means you respect the old and you respect the new as well. You give the new and put the new foot down. You know, you make the new to where they planted. You know what I'm saying? It's just planted. And you still respect the old. You never disrespect the old, because they the foundation. They will put this game together so we can have these dogs like the way we got them. You can't disrespect them, you know. And like I said, all this stuff that a lot of these brothers was doing, and us brothers was doing back then, it was illegal. But at the same time, you know, you gotta respect the game. You gotta respect the game, and you know, you just gotta understand there's gonna be people who don't understand none of the stuff that you're trying to do. They know how to read pedigrees, but they don't understand your goal. They don't understand the fire that burns in you. They don't understand the desires that you have for this game, you know? And like I tell, and like any of my brothers tell, all my young brothers that's getting in the dog game, or anybody, any age that's getting in the dog game for profit, you know, for dollars, and you thinking, you look at one man sell puppies or this man sell puppies, and you thinking it's all hunky-dory. Understand this. You know, it's some things, my young brothers, y'all need to know about this dog game. And you're going to only learn this through trial and error once you go through it. Because I'm going to say it. You're going to remember I said it. But it ain't going to stop you from going through it. And you're going to remember then I said it. You know, these dogs, when you get them, man, you know, some women ain't going to understand you coming up. Some of your girlfriends ain't gonna like your dogs. You know what I'm saying? You're going to go through so many different things. You're going to think you're making all this money. You ain't making nothing. You're going to take care of these dogs all year long, and you're only making just enough to get you some more dog food. You know what I'm saying? You're going to see, and you're going to go through all this type of things, you know, and that's going to build you to be the person that you're going to be in these dogs, you know. For you to just jump straight in the dog game and thinking, oh, I'm going to make money, I'm going to make money, it's kind of, it's different than that. You know, and it may jump off for some folk like that, because you never, you know, you can't say. Some folk may just jump straight in the dog game and start capitalizing. But it don't work like that for everybody. You know, and a lot of brothers get the wrong impression, like you're going to jump in here and become millionaires without putting that work in, you know, at the end of the day. But yeah, man, your house and your field, you know, your house and your field. Now let me give y'all a little bit of this news real quick. We're gonna go up to Providence, where a man was charged with cockfighting. I'll give y'all that cockfighting news as well. Man was charged with cockfighting, and he was, if I'm not mistaken, I looked at the video, said he was in the United States for 50 years, and he didn't know it was illegal. He said it was legal in his country. He's from Mexico or Puerto Rican, or one of them. He said it was legal in his country, and he'd been here for 50 years and didn't know it was illegal. But I'm about to let y'all get into that video. We're going up to Providence. It's your boy PBK9s giving it to you the way I always do. Fair, unbiased, raw, and uncut. Let's get into it.
All right, only on 10 tonight, a Providence man indicted in the cockfighting ring blames cultural confusion for ignorance of the law in this country. He's one of 6 men facing federal charges from 2 cases 2 years ago. I'm Gene Valicenti.
Good evening, I'm Patrice Wood. He invited NBC 10's Temi Topa Adelea into his backyard of his home in Providence to take a look. And she joins us live now. What did he tell you, Temi?
Gina, Patrice, I spoke to 74-year-old Miguel Delgado just hours after he faced a federal judge. He tells me a cultural difference is to blame and that he is a changed man who loves the birds that he keeps.
They come to me.
74-year-old Puerto Rican native Miguel Delgado is facing some serious charges because of birds like this.
What I did was wrong. In my country, they got coliseums, and we want to do it. I've been here 50 years.
Yeah.
And when this happened, I just started to do it.
A federal grand jury indicted him and 5 other men in connection to an alleged cockfighting operation in Providence. 4 of them, Jarademas Kingsley Jamie, Jose Rivera, Luis Castillo, and Delgado, were all arraigned today and released on bond. The incidents happened in February and March of 2022. We caught up with Delgado and his wife shortly after the arraignment, but they were not interested in talking.
No comments.
An hour later, when we showed up to his home, he invited us to see the birds and hear his side of the story.
When I find out, boom, I stop.
He says he loves his birds and claims to be a changed man.
People get the first impression, This guy is a criminal, he's a racketeer, I was all that in my past, I consider myself a decent person. That's why you're talking to me here, because I can hire. I ain't got nothing to hire.
Do you feel overwhelmed with all of these roosters, all of these chickens
Right now, I
here?
am. I don't eat it. How come you're gonna? It's like eating a kid. But I don't know that was illegal. That was going to bring me all these problems. That's why I don't talk to you when I get out there.
Why plead not guilty today then, if you're saying that you did do it then, but you no longer do it now?
But why are you gonna plead guilty when I got a lawyer to advise me not guilty? He's the one that will plead for me, not me.
Now, my brothers and my sisters out there, when everybody that's watching the videos is not in the chat, I want to speak about something I said, and we was talking about in the chat the other night when I played a video from the Pentagon work. They got busted for dog fighting. Now, we all make mistakes, but I just want to ask this brother and anybody else, how they feel about this. Okay, we got a black brother who works in the Pentagon. Color doesn't matter at this time right now for what I'm about to say. We got a brother who works at the Pentagon, the Department of Defense. Likes pit bulls, love pit bulls. Great, that's great. There's no big deal about that. Half the country love pit bulls. But you would think if this brother's about to retire from the DOD, which means he got a lot of years in, you would think that this brother would have more common sense than to name his kennel Jihad Kennel, spelled G-E-E-H-A-D, not spelled like jihad, J-I-H-A-D. Now, my thing is, my brother, how can you work at the Pentagon knowing how these wiretaps be, knowing how these Homeland Security work? How can you be at the Pentagon with a job like that and name your kennel Jihad spelled different? Don't you know that when them folks see that name come across them little apps that y'all be in, the WhatsApp and the Telegram, and they see jihad, it's gonna throw a red flag. Forget the dog fighting, my brother. If the CIA or anybody or FBI or anybody is searching through any WhatsApp and all them little encrypted sites, and they see somebody come across and say jihad kennels, automatically they gonna think that's a code and that's some type of terrorism stuff that's going on back and forth, some type of lingo. Let's check into this. Let's check into it. You drew yourself unwanted attention by your kennel name. Now, PBK, Pelican Bay, I got my kennel name from Pelican Bay. It was a rough spot. I had on my kennel, I got a spot called the Shoe back in the days. That was where the roughest dogs was at, in the Shoe, in this area in Pelican Bay or whatever. But the thing is, that was just a prison name. A rough area name. There's no difference as me naming my dog Skid Row or some rough area in New York City or something like that. Them rough areas. But when you say jihad, now you're talking about catching, like I said, all the important agencies' attention. CIA, FBI, DEA, everybody, Homeland Security. They trying to make sure this is not somebody who's trying to use dog terms to talk about terrorism terms. Why? I mean, maybe I'm just thinking too far, But a brother who works at the Pentagon, you should automatically know not to have nothing coming from your end calling itself jihad. And like I said, this is my opinion, man. I'm not trying to down that brother. When we were checking the news out, they say the brother retired when the situation first happened, which means he retired, he done, he good, everything he got coming to him. The dog thing didn't affect his work and his pension and whatever he got going on. So that was great. But I'm just wondering, man, like, did he not think about jihad was something that'll get the attention drew to him? Just something to think about, man. And like I said, I could be reaching, but at the same time, I just don't understand why, a Pentagon man that worked there and worked around all them type of people would call his dog fighting group, dog fighting kennel, especially if he know he's doing stuff, electrocuting dogs. I done got rid of some dogs, but I ain't gonna lie to you, I never put none under that electric. I couldn't. To me, I just didn't understand that. When I used to hear the people on the videos talking about people electrocuting dogs, I'm like, man, they doing that to get rid of a dog. You just go give it to somebody or put the dog down. Not with no electric. Now, I mean, that's kind of cruel. I mean, cruelty is cruelty, but I mean, electrocuting a dog is about like taking a live dog and sticking his head under the water and drowning him. That's just cruel, man. But I just wanted to bring that up, man, about the jihad kennels, and it's just crazy, man. Now, let's talk about this. Workouts, man. Workouts. Water and workouts. Some brothers may feel like you don't need water. Some brothers may feel like you need water. But I'm just going to give you my opinion on it when it comes to this particular subject, and I'm going to give you a little story. We got dogs that do light workouts. When you got a dog, it's a difference between walking on a treadmill, slow walking on a treadmill, or fast walking on a treadmill, and getting up there, putting it in. It's a difference from getting up there, putting it in. You may not need water when you're getting up there walking, But when you getting on these treadmills and you giving intense workouts and you doing intense workouts throughout your keep, you know, you gonna need some water. And when I say water, I don't mean you take the whole bucket out there. You keep you a little bit so the dog can lap it up to get him some water. See, the dog don't sweat, we all know. But the dog does sweat through his paws and through his nose a little bit. You know, he lets moisture out through his nose and through his paws. You know, so you want to keep them areas cool as much as you can as well. And don't think the dog ain't letting no heat out. You know, he panting. Panting is the main way they let the heat out. But moisture is escaping through the panting and through the nose and through the paws. You know, so you want to keep some water. And I'm going to show y'all a little example because, you know, I always talk about my track stars. You know, imagine a track star going to practice or Lance Armstrong or any of them brothers going to practice for Tour de France and not taking no water with them. You know, we're talking about extreme workouts. We're not talking about going out here walking around the corner and back. You see, the story I want to tell y'all is about Sambo show against this Brute dog off of Champion Brute, coming directly off of Champion Brute. And what Champion Brute was coming off of who? I think either Tab or Jeep, one or the other. You know, but anyway, this brother used to work the Brute dog. And on my meal, the Brute dog, he wouldn't work. You know, he wouldn't work. He would get up there and he would walk. And the brother thought he was actually getting a workout in. You know, he was just walking. And then when he took him out to the show, the dog didn't last 15 minutes. You know, he didn't even last 15 minutes. And this is the difference. You know, there's a difference between getting on the treadmill. Your dog know how to run on a treadmill. I mean, your dog know how to maneuver on a treadmill, you know, and you getting on the treadmill coming to work today. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. Now, let me explain to some brothers, and some brothers may say, I'm capping and this and that, because a lot of y'all cap, because a lot of y'all ain't even bulldog before and running y'all mouth and making opinions about stuff. So listen to this. When I start my meal work, you know, at the end of my keep, at the end of my program, my dog gonna be running 2 hours or more. That's my intentions on 2 hours minimum or more at the end of my 8-week keep. You know, when I start my thing off with my dog, he not running no 5 minutes today. You know, I'm gonna let him probably go 10, 15 minutes, you know, and I'm not gonna push him on that 10 and 15. I'm gonna let him do his own thing on that 10 and 15. But the next day he going up more, you know, and the next day he going up more. And it's not gonna be at the end of my 8-week keep, I'm just maxing out at 2 hours. While I'm in the prime of my keep, when I'm dead in the prime of it, I'm hopefully be getting 2 hours in if I calculated my days right. It's no use for me to go the same time limit day after day after day after day. Every other day we going up, you know, whether it's 5 to 10 minutes. And let me explain to you and give you a better picture of what I'm saying, right? Okay, my first 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes on the meal, I'm gonna throw the dog up there, right? Okay, now I got my chicken in my cage. He's sitting around the corner, you know. But my first 15 minutes on the meal is gonna be me just throwing the dog on the meal and the dog running naturally. Just the natural run that he or she do just off of. Now, anybody who ever hear me talk about, you know, my workout programs, you know, where you always hear me saying I got a seat right there, I'm chilling. I may be looking at a movie. You know, how long movies last? Hour and a half, 2 hours. I may be doing something. I'm doing something because I'm feeding my dogs. I'm doing all this other stuff. Now, you know, I'm talking a little too fast. Let me get back to it. Started off, first 15 minutes, I let him run on his own. You know, now, what I'm about to tell y'all, this is when I'm done with it. You know, this is when I'm done with it and how I'll go out and do my 2.5 hours. Okay, first 15 on his own. Now, I know I'm trying to go 2 hours. I let him go the first 15 on his own. Next 15 to 20, next 15, I'm going to make him push it by getting up, walking to feed the dogs in the yard. You know, walking to feed the dogs in the yard. Now he going to go for another 15, pushing it, you know, pushing it. And let him pace himself, you know, as far as if he slow down during this time, all right? But I'm feeding the dog, so one thing is gonna make him start running when I disappear from around the corner. He gonna automatically start running faster. You can hear the treadmill start spinning louder. It go brrr, when you disappear. So now when I come back from feeding the dogs, I come back, I'm burning me an L. He kind of tired, he's breathing, he's got his tongues hanging out, and he's pacing himself. The moment I come around that curve, you can see him slow down a little bit, slow down a little bit. Now, when I say water, it's because all athletes need water. And like I said, we all know waters may give you cramps sometimes, but you put the fluids back in this dog because the dog is heating up. If your car heating up, you need fluids, you need oil, you need radiator fluid, all this type of stuff because your car heating up. It's overheating. He done lost the fluids. You just got to replace them. Your car may not be fixed. It still will overheat. But when you put them fluids back in it, you got another hour worth of riding before your fluids gone again from your leak and start back overheating again. And to get the most out of that car that's leaking, you're going to have to keep the fluids in it. I can get to New York City in a car that's leaking water, as long as I keep my eyes on the leak. As long as I know how much, when they pull over, to fill back up again. Fill this thing back up with oil, let's go ahead another 200 more miles. To fill this thing back up with water, let's go a little bit longer. You got to keep the fluids in if you want to get steady work. Now, I got my first 30 minutes in. Now, he's starting to get tired. We at the 30, 35, 40-minute mark. I done fed the dogs up. I done let him run his natural, first natural burst off on a meal. Now, I bring the chicken around the corner. He done got him a little sip of water. Now I bring the chicken around the corner. Let the chicken sit right there on the ground. Right there in the cage on the ground. The chicken gonna be walking around and stuff like that. The moment he see that chicken hit that curve, he jumps into a full throttle. Sit the chicken down, hit it maybe 30 seconds, and he'll get back into his pace. Get back into his normal pace where he running. Now, he'll sit right there and run at that, look directly at that chicken for another 15 minutes. The chicken, every time the chicken moves, that gives him a burst of energy. Now he's coming back. You got to keep water with these dogs. Now, what I say, water don't always mean drinking it inside the body. I just told you the dog sweats through his nose and through his paws. And I always say you never take a dog off a treadmill to take him straight to the chain. You never stop your dog workout immediately and just put him up, because he gets that into his head to think, oh, when I see water or when I feel water, it's over. So you keep your wet rag. I kept my bucket beside my treadmill, just like I was in a corner or something. I kept my bucket there with my sponge and my wet towel. I'm washing the dog off. I'm taking him off the meal, cooling him off, letting him get a little bit of water in his mouth. Take him for a walk. Let him catch his breath. At this time, he's not even overworked. He's actually in his prime. He's walking. He's not panting too hard. He's pulling out on the leash. You bring him back. This dog needs water. You can't work a dog. See, this is why some brothers get out there and these dogs only go 5 minutes, and then some brothers get out there and they make their dogs go 5 hours. Because some brothers ain't gonna do it the way other brothers gonna do it, and the ones that, some brothers think they doing it the way other brothers doing it, and that's mediocre work. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to intense workout, you're gonna need some water somewhere or another. Hold on, let me show you something real quick. Just look at this little short video clip, just so you know I ain't capping. Lance Armstrong, and you can go look at any cyclist with the water bottles on their bike. See, I never wanted my dog to, when I rub a wet rag across his face, him to think it's over. He needed this thing. I'm cooling him down. I'm giving him what he need to compete some more. You can't get the dog to keep working if you're not going to keep fluids in his body. One way or another. You know, and every brother ain't going to tell you everything they going to do what they keep, you know, at the end of the day. But what I'm telling you is, don't get it confused and think I'm talking about put a bucket of water in front of them. The thing is, you want your dog to be able to work, to continue to work. The same reason I tell you to sit a box fan in front of the dog on a treadmill. You don't need to sit no box fan in front of a dog on a treadmill if the dog walking. We talking about dogs that's working. You know, working. It's a big difference, man. You don't need water if you're walking on a treadmill. You need water when you're working, intense. If you go to that gym, you need water. You can't, if you go to that gym without anything to drink and you just going there lifting, you're going to come out way faster than the brother that take him some Gatorade, some Powerade, some Muscle Up, whatever kind of pre or post-workout drinks he drink. He going to be in there longer than you. See, y'all... Bro, that's why they say you want to keep something from brothers, put it where they got to read it at. You know, you wonder what kind of supplements to give your dogs for the keeps. The Vertex, the RF1, the Bully Max, or whatever brothers use. But do you not read these products and see that they say these are pre-workout and post-workout? You know, juice for the beginning, juice for the middle. For the end, you know, and it just for a brother, if you think that you gonna work your dog out the way I'm gonna work my dog out, and you're not gonna use no water, that's why I'm coming with the confidence I'm coming with when I was coming back in the days, you know, 2 hours, easy. If he's not doing 2 hours, then he's not working. Because my program gonna have him at 2 hours or more at the end of that 8 weeks. Now, some dogs just don't got it in them to run 2 hours. They're not game enough to run 2 hours because you can't keep them excited enough. You can't keep them interested enough to run after something for 2 hours. My tiredness is overpowering the will to want that. I don't want the chicken no more. I'm tired, you know. It's a difference. And at the end of the day, you got to work that type of work into the dog. You can't just put a dog up there and he run for 30 and 40 minutes and an hour full throttle, but you work that into him. And the only way you can work that into him is build him up, you know, build him up. At the end of the day, like, boom, get you a treadmill. He running. Say you 30 minutes in. Now, take you a little walk up the street, but give him a little sip of that RF1 fuel, or that Vertex. See them fuels? You know, it ain't got to be you give it to him an hour after you get finished working out working him out. You can let him sip and lap that stuff up right then, get them vitamins, them amino acids, all that stuff, them carbohydrates that he losing, get all that stuff back in him because the workout is not over. You know, you don't want water to symbolize the end because when water symbolized the end back in the days, it meant the first time my dog touched the sponge, he started getting a feeling in his heart, it's time to stop. You know, first time. See, I'll be right there by my treadmill and I'll get the sponge and I'll drip it the same way into the dog mouth. You know, just drip it. Let him get some water. Let him get some water, but not too much water. Wash his face down, cool him off, you know, and he's still working because he knows it's still time to work in his head mentally. A lot of y'all brothers be training curs. You training a dog to be a cur, and he might be had more heart than what you trained him to be. But you created a cur. You created a dog that will stop, and that's what some brothers call a cur. One that will stop. Now, any brother with common sense, no, any dog will stop once it get to the point of he can't move his legs no more. He can't lift his head up no more. Any dog will stop once they get exhausted. You know, so I want to answer this question that I seen a brother on Facebook talking about. Brothers, y'all got to stop asking about these 3-hour curves. You know, you got to stop asking about that, fam. If a dog gets beat without jumping that box, he gets beat at 2 hours, whether he's stopped in the corner or not, he's not a bad dog. It's over 60, 70 some percent of y'all out there with them dogs and never see a dog that would go 2 hours. And never seen one that went 2 hours. But you steady throwing so much salt on dogs that go 2 hours. Oh, cur is a cur. No, man, a cur ain't a cur. I'd rather have a dog on my yard that went 2 hours and stopped than a dog with them 15-minute alligators y'all brothers be bragging about. You know? All he can do is bite, bite, bite. He got one strategy, bite, bite, bite. And when that strategy don't work, his ass in the corner. You know, I be looking at brothers be getting on YouTube and saying, Facebook and different things and saying, he stopped in 3 hours. He's a cur is a cur, stop is a stop. Man, y'all brothers gonna make brothers get rid of the wrong dogs. Y'all brothers who listening to all this stuff, you gonna be done got rid of the wrong dogs, and 10 years down the line, you gonna say, damn, I should have listened. Hey, I got rid of my cur, and he over here keeping curs, you know, so-called curs. You know, when dogs show you good stuff and they reaching that hour-and-a-half mark, man, listen here, man. A lot of y'all won't even stay around for a 3-hour show. You get bored, you want to leave, you do something else. 3 hours is a very, very, very long time. Only certain elite dogs gonna make it to that level. To stay down there for 3 hours. And y'all brothers complaining about 2 hours. And man, listen, you won't see it. You better be trying to make it past 15 minutes. You know, you worrying about 2 hours and all that stuff. You make it to 2 hours, you got a good one. Win or lose, and that's just my opinion. You know, win or lose. You're not going to stay down there for no 2 hours and fight. I don't care who it is. Your average boxer can't go toe-to-toe with no other person for 2 hours straight. No fighter can do it before you win it. But you talking about these dogs that do it and you downplaying them, calling them curs because they got tired, they got exhausted. You know, maybe they tried everything they could try and they can't, nothing else don't work. But 2 hours, man, 2 hours is not a dog you need to be getting rid of. You need to be trying to take that 2 hours and manipulate that into something else and take that other stuff. Because a lot of times, like I said, a majority of the time, you know, when it comes to that dog stuff, a lot of these dogs quit because they was tired. Are you mad at me because I quit because I was tired? You pushing me to this limit. You know, hopefully you got me conditioned right, but you pushing me to this limit, and then you call me a bad dog when I'm fighting 20 times longer than you could as a human being. I bet any of y'all brothers out there or go to war with any brother that you see that fight 15 minutes straight with anybody. You know, he can be getting jumped, but if he can go 15 minutes straight, non-stop, swinging blows, you'll go to war with that brother, you know, because he a fighting joker. A lot of y'all talking 2 hours and you can't fight 30 seconds before you gassed out blowing and want to jump over the box. You know, a 2 hour dog, to me, in my opinion, like I said, we all entitled to our opinions. In my opinion, a 2 hour dog is not a bad dog. You know, I mean, if you went 2 hours with a poodle or something, yeah, that's something different. But if you went 2 hours with a bulldog, that's something else different. You know, win, lose, or draw. You know, that's just my opinion, man. Because I see a lot of, like I said, a lot of brothers throw salt, and you got questions, especially my younger brothers. You may have questions about these dogs that stopped at 2, stopped at 1 hour and 45, hour and 30. You know, you have questions about these dogs. But we can't even go to a schoolroom class and sit in the classroom for 30 an hour without wanting to, you know, leave up and get out and walk to the bathroom and do all the kind of stuff. And we talking about an hour and a half of combat. Life or death combat. You know, so, you know, sometimes you can answer your own questions, man. Could you go for 2 hours? You know? Could you even run for 2 hours? Forget fighting. Can you run for 2 hours straight? Start your clock right now and just start running and don't stop running until the 2 hour mark? Hell no, you can't do it. But you expect that dog to do it. And then you want to knock him because he can't do it. So because you run, far as you can run. I mean, you ran for miles nonstop, but you didn't make the 2 hour mark. You know, you ran for miles. You made about an hour and 15 minutes running straight. Did damn good. But then brothers say, downplay what you did, and the brothers that's downplaying what you did, they can't even run a quarter mile. So be careful, my brothers. Don't get rid of your dogs because of what the next man telling you about something for 2 hours, 3 hours. Ask them, did they ever had one for 2 hours? 3 hours. Ask them, do they got one now that'll treadmill for 2 hours? And also, you know, being that we talking about the dog sweating and that type of stuff, when the dog loses moisture through his nose, his paws, you know, and it also loses moisture in his upper respiratory tract, you know. So you need this type of stuff. If the dog losing moisture in his respiratory tract, you know, which means breathing, we got to add moisture back if we want this dog to continue to work and work and work without harming anything on him, you know, and still be a dog intact when you take him off and ready to work again tomorrow. Not burning anything out, not blowing his head gaskets and all kind of stuff because you ain't got enough fluid in him. With all the sweating that a dog does through his nose, through his panting off his tongue, and off his paws, you know, and the moisture leaves his respiratory tract and all that, his body temperature drops. How can the dog perform when his body temperature is dropping? See, you don't see all this stuff, but this stuff goes on in the dog, and that's the reason your dog didn't come across that line at 2 hours. He dehydrated. So does lack of water mean lack of dog? Lack of water in the system, the dog body shut down? Lack of air in the system because he wasn't conditioned right? Does that mean he wasn't a good dog? Some brothers really need to evaluate certain things before they get rid of a lot of dogs. You know, you're making, the same way I said yesterday, we make the bad decisions thinking fast, thinking off emotion. You know, everybody looking at us, this dog lost your pride in the way, you know, so you put the dog down, you do something, you regret 2 weeks later. Oh man, I did this wrong, I did that wrong. It wasn't really that dog's fault, you know. And a lot of y'all, you won't take the blame on yourself. You put it on the dog to make yourself feel like you the dog man that you claim you is. You know, a lot of times it ain't the dog, it's the man with the dog, like I said before. The city, the country dog, man with the dog. You know, we can take 2 yellow dogs, me and AQ Henry. We both can have dogs of the same litters, dogs that's got the same abilities, dog that's great. But if AQ working his better than I'm working mine, if AQ giving his the stuff that he's supposed to be and got his dog doing what he's supposed to be doing, and I'm not doing mine like that, when it come out to the dance, it's gonna show. You know, it's gonna show. And then I can say, oh, I got a cur, but now I got a cur workout program. You know, that's all it is. We don't want to take the blame on our workout programs or none of that stuff. You know, and I got to the point back in the days where I stopped wanting to handle other people's dogs, you know, because of the fact of the matter, I handle your dog, then a brother take that as PBK9's loss. A lot of brothers did. You know, you'll run with it. You'll run with it. It depends on if you're dealing with real dog men or dog men who trying to just run with a fake reputation. You know, I'm handling your dog, and because he beat me, he think he beat me. Now that ain't the big problem I got. The big problem I got is you thinking your dog lost because of me. You know, that's the problem I got. You know, or you thinking, say if I condition the dog, oh the dog ain't conditioned right. Instead of just saying the dog occurred, man. You know, that's why I deal with my own dogs. You know what I'm saying? I will condition a brother's dog for the confirmation show or for a treadmill show. I say it all the time. If you need your dog in a condition program for a treadmill race or a confirmation show, one of the future ADBA shows or the Digital Dog Show or the South Bottom annual shows, you know, I will condition the dog. You just have to let me know. It'll be an 8-week program, a 6-week program, whichever one you want, you know. But I'm going to put my all into it, and it just is what it is, and you're going to pay for it. You know, you're going to pay for it, but your dog will come back right, at least on my end, you know, on my end. But yeah, man, it's just all about keeping that water with them dogs, knowing you got to have an eye for this thing, right? You don't just go dump water on them or just go dump water in front of him so you can drink it. You got to know when he needs the water. And you got to pay attention to the dog on the meal. You know, because I done lost one on the meal. I heard one of y'all brothers cracking on somebody that dog on the meal. Well, I did it too. You know, I did it too with a slat meal, dog trotter. No, that wasn't my $5,000. That was one, probably about $3,000. That's when my first dog trotter Evo I bought. I bought about 4 of them things. One time I bought the basic. The first time I bought matter of fact, the first one was a basic. After that, when I started going up to the Evo Pro and all the other deluxe and all other kind of stuff, the long joint. But anyway, it was Nitro, Little Mate brother. Put him on the treadmill. And I'm talking about he running like a bat. Full throttle. Got the smoothest running treadmill ever. You ain't got no problem. Can't even hear it around the corner. I let him overheat on a hot day. And I had him on my back porch. You know, palm trees and everything covering the porch. But it got too hot for him. And I couldn't cool him off. He was just panting hard. I took him off the mill and I was laying him, putting water all on him, but it was too late. You know, it was too late. He never got up from that spot where I laid him down at. You know, and it's all about water, all about knowing your dog hydration levels. You can't, I can say, yeah, you could test the water on the back of his neck or something like that before working, but you just got to pay attention. If you see your dog tongue hanging out and the foam start coming, you don't want foam around your dog mouth, you know. You don't want that. You want water dripping out his mouth. Same way we say water in them tailpipes. You need water dripping out that dog mouth. When you getting foam, you know, now just say if it foam up real quick, but then it changes the water, you know, that may be cool, but you don't want foam. Foam equals dryness. You know, that equals dryness. What you need is water dripping. Every time his tongue hang, water drip from it. You know, and it's all about having that eye, man. And like I said, rub downs and stuff like that. Taking your dog with a wet towel or wet sponge and just rubbing his whole body down. You know, I done did rub downs while my dog on the treadmill. I stop him running, and I just take that sponge and I rub him all over. Get it all around his mouth. Get it all in his face, all around his eyes. Let him get good and wet. Wet his scrotum sack up back there. Rub all around his legs. Touch his paws and stuff. You know, and just make sure he cool. And let him keep running. Let him keep working. He not ready to stop. He trying to build up this win. You know. And I'm going to make sure that he's strong enough. I'm going to make sure that he got the power to give me the workouts that I need to get. You know, so that's why I talk about water. And where the next brother might feel like you don't need water, you know, if your dog working, if your dog not walking and he doing intense workouts, you're going to need some water somewhere or another. And that might be the reason why a lot of y'all brothers can't get the workouts you want out your dogs, because you leaving out water. And like I said, water don't mean go drinking, and just sitting there drink from the jug or whatever you're drinking from. It means letting them lap up time to time. Put them same fluids he losing back into his body. Back into his respiratory tract. Now, when you come there, you didn't work with no water. You only got, your dog maxed out at 30 minutes. And you thought you were doing something. And he not even running that hard. The whole 30. You know, we maxing out at 2.5, 2 hours, 2.5. Fast pace, slow pace, steady walking. Long as his legs moving forward. But we max out at 2.5. The only thing you gonna do to stop me if you come out there with a for sure, you know, back in them days. But you didn't work your dog, and 9 times out of 10, my dog was worked good enough to outstand the storm, to weather the storm. He weathered that storm, that's a wrap. All that lack of water and all that other stuff, that's a wrap. Now when your dog get tired and it's time, or when your dog got tired, I gotta speak in past tense so brothers won't get it confused. When your dog got tired and it's time to take him to that corner, you know, you put that rag on him or that sponge or whatever you putting on him. He refers back to whenever you was training him. Now, whenever you did that before, he had any kind of water, he was getting tied up on the chain. So in his head, just click, it's over. That's why I say brothers be training their dogs to be stoppers. You know, a lot of brothers be training their dogs to be stoppers. When it comes to hydration, like ask yourself, that's why I always say, my brothers, do you think them greyhounds is going out there when they go to practice, when they go to work? You think they running that practice track, the training, without having any water on that track anywhere? Do you think these sled dogs is training for these long races and they're not taking water with them on their sled for these dogs to drink on the way? You know, and when it comes to sled dogs, they drinking off the ice. That is sometimes they drink as they running, getting scoops of ice, you know, and moisture, give them that moisture back. So, I mean, it just depends on what type of athlete you're trying to build. You trying to build one that look like an athlete, or you trying to build one that move like an athlete, you know? And I'm talking about last like an athlete. And you can have confidence in this particular hound. Your dog not used to getting water to the end of the program, to the end of the workout. Now you got him on a treadmill race, and the dog you raced against is a draw, and you got to go again. Somehow or another. You got to do something again to compete, to figure out who won. But you done gave your dog water, now he feel like it's the tie-down time. It's rest time, you know. Instead of when you gave him water, he just know it's still about to be on. He feel like it's rest time, so when he get on the meal this time, he's not going to run as hard. And this is all there is to it, man. Everybody do things different. Everybody do things different. Everybody gonna have their own opinions. You know, I'm just a water man, you know, and like I said, I work my dog sometimes and don't give him no water, you know. But when I need to get serious and when I need to get my dog to where I need to get my dog to, I'm gonna do the things that I'm supposed to be doing to get the results that I'm used to getting. You know. Now, let's talk about this a little bit. The black game dog theory. You know, and I did a little research, not much, but one thing I found out is a black dog overheats faster than your light colored dogs because the sun is absorbed by the black dog fur and it reflects off the light colored dog fur. So, you know, could this be one of the reasons that some of them black dogs were known for being 10, 15 minute, 20 minute dogs? You know, could this be the reason? You know, and I always said that, you know, maybe the black dogs they heat up faster, but I never really said it like that as far as the coat wise and reflecting off the sun. But maybe that's the reason. You know, these black dogs, they just don't release the heat the same way another dog will release it when it comes to the sunlight and stuff like that. You know, and that may be the reason you may have to work that dog harder. If it's a black dog, then you will work a light colored dog. And I'm not saying that's a fact. I'm just saying it's a possibility because this dog gonna heat up faster than your dog. Just naturally heat up. If we don't have them working at all and they just barking in front of each other. They just barking, and we standing out in the sun. Your dog will heat up faster because it's black than mine. Is what I'm saying. Mine reflecting the sun, yours absorbing the sun. Hey, and like I said, I ain't gonna stay on that too long. That's just a little thing I was wondering, man. You know, keep in mind, because we always say these Frisco dogs do this, and I'm gonna speak on that too, because I seen a brother say something about the Frisco dogs being 40-minute dogs and this and that, and he's saying about it on Facebook. Now, my thing is, my brother, that story that you're talking about Frisco and them Chinaman dogs being 45-minute dogs, that story is as old as the dogs is. Frisco and them Chinaman dogs being 45-minute dogs back in the 90s. By now, they should be done bred something in them to make them go 2 hours. You know, that's why I say, man, the stories that we have, these red boy dogs, they game in the all outdoors. The Bolio dogs are smart. These Eli dogs are biting. All these stories that we getting from these dogs are the old stories. What the old Eli dogs did, what the old Jeep dogs, red boy dogs did, what the new red boy dogs doing, the new Jeep and the Eli dogs, you know, the Bolio dogs, are they still as smart as they used to be? You know, we talking about all this old stuff and we'd have nothing to bring to the table for the new stuff. Which dogs are the smartest, the most people-friendly, human aggressive, dumbest, gamest, you know, biggest teeth, you know, most athletic, you know, what lines gives us this stuff these days? We still ride, you know, as a story change, the more people hear a story, the story change. If I tell you something and you tell somebody and it go through 10 other people, by the time I hear it again, so much stuff done got added to that story, you know? So imagine breeding from Eli, breeding from Red Boy, and you starting off with super game dogs, but by the time the story got to us, instead of this dog being super game, he may have had more mouth. Like brothers say about the Red Boy and the mouth, them was 30 years ago stories. 30 years ago. Brothers should be done bred and mouth into the Red Boy dogs by now. I'm talking about pure Red Boy. You should have been and found a Red Boy dog. If you was breeding best of best back in them days, you found a Red Boy dog with tenacious mouth. You would have bred them with some dogs, and hopefully it'd turned out good. You know, hopefully it'd turned out good. You should have been had mouth and all that stuff by now. These stories that we talking about are the stories of the originals. There's no way these stories are still accurate. You know, there's no way. You might have Frisco dogs that's outdoing the yellow dogs, natural winded now, because we don't know, right? Unless you know, unless you know. But I was just speaking on that, my brother, the 45-minute Frisco. Hey man, that's old, bro. You know, don't put that into your head, you know, and think that's the way these dogs are gonna be until you see it, until you can make your own judgment. You know, those stories, man. 45-minute Frisco dogs. I've been hearing that since I got in the game, and I've seen it as well. You know, but I seen all the lines be 45-minute dogs, 15-minute dogs, no minute dogs. You know, all the lines. You know, so let's just keep this thing going, man. Cause I got some things I want to touch up on, boy. hey, we got to touch up on some things. We talking about more blue dogs I done found out there, man. More blue dogs I done found for my brothers and sisters, and we might as well just forget about it. Forget about it, man. Eventually, these dogs going to be intertwined with all the other dogs, and it's going to be what it's going to be. Because if I'm finding blue dogs stretched out on online page, right, and these dogs ADBA registered, that means that dog can be bred to mellow yellow and it's still going to get papers, legitimate papers, no matter if these dogs coming down off the same lines or not. They all registered through the same company. So we're going to check that stuff out as well in a few minutes. Now, I want to speak on a comment Hunt Down Kennels, a dumbass comment that Hunt Down Kennels made. Saying something about, I said a dog production be so good he can breed to a hound dog or something. I don't even know what he was saying, some dumb junk trying to say, discredit what I was saying, which is all good. But if you understood, I tell y'all, brother, a lot of people can't comprehend. You can't comprehend. You know all this street shit, but your level of comprehension is low. What I said was, if you have a litter of 10 puppies and you're only coming out with 1, 2 good dogs and you're bragging about you got a good producing dog, you don't. That's what I said. Your dog is not a good producing dog if he only producing 2 good dogs off a litter of 10. Is what I said. I said you can take any American Pit Bull Terrier off Eli, Bolio, Jeep, Red Boy, Jocko, any American Pit Bull Terrier. I said you can breed them with a hound dog. And the hound dog have 10 puppies, you guaranteed to have at least 1 to 2 dogs that's gonna get you some real recognition. As far as the rolling and all that type of stuff. Back in the days. Now, I said if a pit bull and a hound dog is for sure to give you 1 or 2 good dogs, how the hell can you brag about a pit bull and a pit bull that's only giving you 1 or 2 dogs? What's your standards? Is what I said, Hunt Down. You see, you gotta have level of comprehension when we talking about these dogs, and I start saying certain things and you maybe can't keep up. You need me to slow down when I'm speaking, I will. It just is what it is, man. I said if your dog not producing of a litter of 10 puppies, he got at least 5 good ones. Good ones. And the others gonna be mediocre. At least 5 and better to call that dog a producer. We not accepting no 1 dog off no litter of 10 puppies saying it's good and saying this dog a good producer is what I'm saying, Hunt Down. Do you understand me now? Can you comprehend the way I'm giving it to you? If your dog, your American Pit Bull Terrier that been bred up so good all these years, over the years, if he can't produce no better than a hound dog, what good is he? If I can get that 1 good one breeding to a hound, then I can get that 1 good one breeding to your dog. I might as well breed to the damn hound. I'm gonna have a bigger gene pool and a more healthier dog. You understand now? Because the brothers' channels y'all watching, they ain't helping y'all being able to comprehend this real dog talk. You can only comprehend the bullshit. That's all you can comprehend. But I ain't staying on that but a second. Leave dumbness where it's at. That's how I feel about it. And like I said, to my brothers who wondering about these 2-hour curves and 3-hour curves, tell them, ask them, do they ever have one? And like I said before, a lot of people will never see one in their life. Now, let's get on the topic about these blue dogs real quick. I'm gonna show y'all some dogs. First dog I'm gonna talk about is Lang's Blue. Lang's Blue, and then we're gonna talk about SCWBS's Blue Ice dog. And when you look at these pedigrees of these dogs and you look at these dogs, you can tell this little offness with them. They're either Staffordshires or, bullies or something like that. But for one, I got all these dogs off the online pedigree database, which is another reason I tell y'all brothers to stop taking that database so seriously, like it's the Holy Grail. Got a pedigree on online pairs, you know. Got a pedigree on online pairs, and these are real blue dogs. That's why I say it's only a matter of time before these dogs are crossed up with, you know, your other dogs. But when you look at these pedigrees, you do see a lot of PR, which means purple ribbon. But and you look at your regular game dog pedigrees and you go back far enough, you're going to see a lot of PRs, purple ribbon, you know. So the blue dog argument, man, is really not needed. It's good for conversation. You know, it's good for conversation because we all gonna have opinions, and we gonna have brothers that's gonna always say a blue dog is not a real game dog. You know, and you're gonna have brothers who always argue different with them. You know what I'm saying? Always argue different. And after doing that video with the brother, you know, and he showing me and giving me the info on the blue dog that he had smoked, you know, I mean, I gotta ride with that, man. I gotta ride with that. Especially when I seen gray pit bulls throughout the days back in the 90s. Pit bulls, not bullies. I don't know what the pedigree on them was, but it was pit bulls. You know, there's really no argument about it, man. It may not be your favorite color. It may be a color that you feel like is taboo, like I said before, but it exists. You know, it does exist, and they're out there. And they're going to be out there even more in the future once these dogs start crossbreeding, all in the same registry, ADBA registry. Some brothers might say they registered as XL bullies or XL pits. Nah, I'm talking about American Pit Bull Terrier. And I had a few dogs like this back in the 90s that looked like that, but it wasn't blue, it was brindle or had a brown one. They were Staffordshires, you know, UKC registered. Had a few of them. So I'm just putting this out here, man, to kind of lighten up on that blue argument, to help brothers who argue for the blue dog kind of get a win a little bit. You know, 'cause they've been arguing for years. These brothers been telling you for years the blue dogs exist, you know, and it's just great to finally get real evidence and really bring some stuff to the light, you know. And these brothers had these blue dogs posted online since the mid-2000s. You know, but we're not looking for that, so we don't find them. But when you see pictures and stuff like this, you got to share it to bring the knowledge to these brothers, to open up the mind, to open up to see what everybody got, you know. But yeah, man, big salute to all the brothers down in the chat. You know, we got Mo Dog News. Big salute to all the sisters down in the chat and everybody that's watching, that's rocking with the Bay, man. To subscribe to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you're not subscribed, hit that notification bell so you get the videos when the videos drop. You know, we got more news coming from DC, where a dog was found shot between his eyes, and they're looking for rewards. You know, while they offering a reward, they're looking for suspects. You know, offering rewards. So y'all get into this, man. PBK9's Dog Talk and News for the day. Let's get into it.
Helping now in the district, the Humane Rescue Alliance is investigating a shooting involving a dog.
DC News Now's Dave Laval joins us from Northwest, where the Humane Rescue Alliance is located. Dave, there's a reward being offered, but more importantly, how's the dog doing?
Well, good evening to you, Mark and Annalisa. We can start off with some good news, as we're told by the folks here at the Humane Rescue Alliance. The dog Louisa is improving. And right now, though, the search continues for the people who wounded her.
This is just one of those things that's quite literally a miracle that she survived.
Chris Schindler updates the condition of Louisa, a dog shot last week in southeast D.C.
The swelling in her throat has come down and she's breathing normally now.
Schindler is a senior vice president at the Humane Rescue Alliance that responded to the call to help the animal.
She's doing much better today.
Someone shot Louisa between the eyes sometime between September 11th, when she wandered off from her home on Eli Place Southeast, and when she returned home 2 days later. The Humane Rescue Alliance received a call about the dog later that day. An X-ray at an emergency veterinary hospital showed a bullet lodged in her neck.
Where the bullet passed through basically between her eyes, fractured the sinus cavity, and then went down through her soft palate into her throat and into her neck to lodge.
Veterinarians successfully removed the bullet without surgery and treated the dog's throat.
These are not common occurrences in the district where we have shootings, and it's one that we want to get to the bottom of what happened.
The Humane Rescue Alliance is offering a reward of up to $5,000 for information leading to the arrest and conviction of those who shot the dog. Louisa is being treated at a local animal hospital. There is no word yet when she will be allowed to go back home. We're live in Northwest. Dave Laval, DC News Now.
Yes, sir, man. You know, just a recap of what we were speaking about. We were speaking about dogs getting hot, dogs overheating. Another thing that helps a dog is his muzzle length. You know, dogs with shorter muzzles gonna have harder time breathing. Just like the shorter your muzzle get, the less air can come through there. Your dogs with your beaky, long, sharp muzzles, and you know, they're gonna breathe better. That's why a lot of brothers like the dogs who didn't look like bulldogs back in the days. This dog here got a skinny face. He don't really look like a bulldog. You know, and if you take him up to people who don't know bulldogs like that, they gonna say, "What, you got, a hound dog?" You know, and that was cool. But that long face helped you breathe good. You know, what's the brothers say some of these dogs, we know, especially like long body dogs, they got long lungs, right? That's great. Great to have. What's the purpose of having big lungs when you got a short muzzle that the air can't even come in and out of? You see? One don't help the other. But muzzle size, man, that can play a part in how you breathing and what you want to breathe to. Just keep all that in mind. All that plays a part in how fast your dog can get that air in his body and that oxygen to his muscles. You know? Big shout out, man. Big shout out to anybody I left off. You know, they've been rocking with the Bay. Big salute to them brothers down in the chat, them sisters down in the chat. It's just an everyday job, man, trying to keep these hounds healthy, trying to do the right things with these dogs. I had to show my brothers the blue dogs, you know, and it's not my preference. These ones I'm showing you now, these aren't the kind of dogs that my brother did on an interview the other night. You know, that dog was a Boudreaux dog. These dogs that I'm showing you now, you know, they got a different kind of breeding set. You know, but they're still considered pit bulls. You know, and ADBA got to really tighten up too as well. If they're going to have them other dogs in the system, you can't call these dogs pit bulls. And if you know these dogs carry different characteristics, you know, than a pit bull, and then they go out there and do something, then the pit bull gets the blame. Once again, pit bull gets the blame for what a bully dog is doing, or a bully dog gets blamed for what a pit bull dog is doing. You can't mix these breeds up, man, and let them all take the blame for one name. Let one name take the blame for what all these different lines of dogs doing. It's the pit bull doing it. That was a band dog. It's the pit bull doing it. That was a boxer. It's a pit bull doing it. That was a mixed breed mutt. It's the pit bull doing it. That was a pit bull. It's a pit bull doing it. That's a bully. You know, it's a pit bull doing it. That's a pocket pit. You know, I mean, it just, you know, it's too many dogs, man. Like I said, to make America game again, you got to take this thing back down to one breed, one dog, you know, one purpose, the work. The work. To entertain, baby. There's more than one way to entertain. You know, they got them dogs to entertain themselves and to work. You make them dogs, you can entertain yourself, and you can work with them dogs. You just gotta know how to adapt, man. You just gotta know how to adapt. You know, y'all stay safe out there. Y'all stay legal out there. And remember, where you get it from first, man. PBK9's Dog Talk TV, Dog News. Give it to you like I always give it to you. Stay legal, stay safe, and I'm out.